Trump's latest tax proposal: no taxes for those earning less than $150,000. Yes, you heard right, and that's what we're going to be covering in today's video. Are you ready? Let's start today's video. If you make less than $150,000 a year, President Donald Trump wants to abolish your taxes, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said in an interview with CBS on Tuesday. I know what his goal is: no tax for anybody who makes less than $150,000 a year. That's his goal. That's what I'm working for, Lutnick said in the interview. Lutnick also mentioned Trump's plans to eliminate taxes on tips, overtime pay, and Social Security. Other tax proposals that Trump floated in 2024 and earlier this year include creating a tax deduction for interest payments on car loans and easing the income tax rules that expatriate Americans must follow. Trump has also talked about eliminating the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, in favor of an External Revenue Service to collect money from foreign sources. And since taking office in January, he's hit some of the U.S.'s biggest trading partners with a slew of tariffs. Read more about Trump's tax plans. But specific details for many of Trump's tax proposals are few and far between. Without knowing more about the proposed tax cut for those earning $150,000 or less, it's difficult to assess how the plan would work, says Carl Johnson, a certified public accountant in New Orleans. I'm not very hopeful about the way it is presented as a broad-based cut, he says. According to Johnson, the plan could include provisions that allow some taxpayers to qualify, but not others. Also, the idea of eliminating taxes for those earning $150,000 or less may refer solely to income taxes, and likely wouldn't eliminate the payroll taxes that U.S. workers pay towards Social Security and Medicare. A majority of taxpayers earning less than $200,000 pay more in payroll taxes than income taxes, according to a report by the Tax Foundation in 2019, based on data from the U.S. Congress Joint Committee on Taxation. Meanwhile, Congress is currently debating the extension of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. The sweeping legislation, initially enacted in 2017 during Trump's first term, brought about lower income tax rates, a near doubling of the standard deduction, and a much more generous child tax credit, among other changes. All of these provisions are set to expire at the end of this year, unless Congress acts. No taxes on Social Security income. During his presidential campaign, Trump proposed many initiatives to cut taxes for Americans. For example, Trump said he wants to eliminate taxes on Social Security retirement benefits for seniors. While retirees with low incomes generally don't owe taxes on their Social Security benefits, those who receive income from other sources, such as wages or rental income, may owe income tax on up to 85% of their benefits. According to the Tax Policy Center, a plan to eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits would benefit beneficiaries earning between $63,000 and $200,000 the most. However, tax cuts for Social Security could come at a price, according to experts. Exempting Social Security benefits from income tax would increase the budget deficit by $1.6 trillion over 10 years and accelerate the trust fund's insolvency, according to a report by the Tax Foundation.
It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors. Good luck. And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America. And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025, and it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs percent. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea. But that's what happens. This is happening by friend and foe. This system is not fair to the innocent, and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market.
How it would work. If implemented, people making under $150,000 annually wouldn't owe federal income taxes. This could mean larger paychecks since taxes wouldn't be withheld. The proposal might also include tax breaks for Social Security benefits. Will it actually happen? This is an idea, not an official policy yet. Trump's team says balancing the budget is necessary before making this change. Congress would need to approve it, and there could be concerns about how the government would replace lost tax revenue. Impact on the economy. People would have more money to spend, which could boost the economy. However, cutting taxes that much might increase the national debt unless spending is also reduced. Right now, it's just a proposal, not a confirmed plan, but it would still need approval from Congress.
It's not meant for that. It wasn't meant for that. And hopefully at some point the courts will understand that without having to go through a whole big deal. This was meant for the children of slaves. And look at the timing of it and you'll see. And I hope judges will understand that. And it has to stop because it's really hurting our country very badly. In the coming weeks, I'm looking forward to working with Congress on a reconciliation bill that financially takes care of our plans to totally and permanently restore the sovereign borders of the United States once and for all. We are going to have so many business moving back into our country. And remember, again, the word tariff. We're going to protect our people and our businesses, and we're going to protect our country with tariffs. And you got a little indication of that yesterday with what happened with a very strong country. Colombia is traditionally a very, very strong-willed country. If they don't make their product in America, then very simply they should have to pay a tariff, which will bring in trillions of dollars into our treasury from countries that never paid us 10 cents. We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let them destroy our country. In the words of President McKinley, who is the tariff king, the protective system invokes the highest law of nature, that a self-preservation, and that is self-preservation. There is every reason, founded in justice, why the American producer should in every way be favored against a foreign producer whose products compete with his. This is our natural market. We have made it. We have made it at enormous cost, capital, and exertion. And think of this. And we did that through exertion and brain and muscle and guts and stamina. We preserved it against foreign wars and domestic conflicts at great sacrifice of men and women. The foreign producer has contributed nothing to the growth or development of this country. So if you want to share with the citizens of the United States our home market, then you must pay for the privilege of doing it. In other words, you have to pay for the privilege of coming into our country, taking our jobs, taking our product, destroying our countries. We mentioned North Carolina, the furniture business, what they've done to these great artisans. I used to go down to North Carolina all the time to buy furniture for hotels that I was building, and they had the most incredible artisans. That whole thing was wiped out by China mostly, but others, and just wiped out. But it's going to come back. It's going to come roaring back. It's all going to come roaring back. We're going to put tariffs on outside countries and outside people that really mean us harm. They want to, well, they mean us harm, but they basically want to make their country good. Look at what others do. China's a tremendous tariff maker, and India and Brazil and so many countries. And so we're not going to let that happen any longer, because we're going to put America first. Always put America first. That's what's going to happen. We're going to establish a very fair system where money is going to come into our coffers, and America is going to be very rich again, and it's going to happen very quickly. It's time for the United States to return to the system that made us richer and more powerful than ever before.